Greetings. This broadcast is not intended for little children. There will be strong language and adult nonsense.
And
Uh,
unlike the usual greeting, we do not require you to be sentient today. We don't care if you're a slug, a hamster, or a human. You just come on up and have a good time.
so you have Pragmatic Crystal, Mark Caesar, some Jenny Morgan person. I don't know who that is. Uh, just Mr. Lord of Fools.
Oh, my boss is here?
Yep, yes, they're here.
Cool. When do I get paid, huh? You're about 2 weeks late, you know.
You get paid?
Well, yeah. How do you expect them to be able to deliver excellence to you and perfection?
You get paid?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. So what's new with you there, Mage? Huh? Anything cool?
Uh, Not really anything that new. Finally got some rain. Been needing that hasn't rained in weeks.
Oh yeah, I heard the lower part of your state got absolutely flushed. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
It's actually been pretty nice rain here. I mean, there's no wind, no lightning, just gentle rain.
Well, we've just had nothing but 60 degrees all week. It's
Mm,
been pretty nice considering it's mid November. That's what it is. Yeah, I remember now.
yes, November. Yeah, I've been getting heat spikes here with at least 70, close to 80-degree weather because my AC keeps kicking on and during the day.
It's weird to think about AC this time of year. So what happened to Purple? Do you have her tied up and just not letting her loose, or?
Well, her message to us was tomorrow will be an initial consult. Even if they decide I'm a perfect candidate, I won't be scheduled for the actual surgery until early summer. I'm not really sure what that's about. Saying that she had some appointment they had to get to. She had to get to. If she didn't take this appointment now, it would have been 6 months or longer. Don't know when she would have gotten it otherwise. So
Did she mention what surgery?
I don't see a mention as to what surgery.
Okay, well then she doesn't want us to know.
Guess not.
I have my guesses, but we won't mention those.
Yeah, I have some guesses too, but she didn't mention in her notes as to what's going on with her. I'm not gonna mention it.
Well, I'm a little bit more brave. I've been suggesting that you get that second hand on her left arm cut off long ago. It just gets in the way. It's hard to put on a sleeve. It's just no
Mm,
fun at all. You don't know exactly which finger to put the ring on. It's just confusing as fuck.
yeah.
Whoops!
Uh,
I just blew the button. Monetization. Hi, Skizzy.
well, we can still keep PG-13.
Hi, Demon.
Hello. And while I'm at it here, I'll post Purple's GoFundMe in the chat here. If anybody can share that out, or if you have the ability to donate, please do so. Sorry, Molly, I can't go and get it for you this time. She has knocked her what's left of her hoof underneath my dresser, and she can't get it.
Oh no.
Keep warning her not to play with it there.
Well, if she starts crying or something and you want to take care of her, that's okay.
Mm. Now she's looking at me like, get it. All right, I'll get it.
Go
Hold
ahead.
on.
Reminds me of that movie, A Boy and His Dog. Have any of you seen A Boy and His Dog? an old cult film from the 70s. I forget the actor's name, but it starred that guy from Miami Vice. Crockett, I think his name was there. And it's an apocalyptic kind of film. All right, I'll stop talking about the past. You guys aware of what's going on in Ohio right now after their vote to approve women's right to their own body? It won the vote by a good solid 56% of the vote, and everybody is happy. You know, the citizens organized and pulled this off themselves, despite all the Republican tricks that were pulled to make the election not happen. And then once they won, the Republicans have now said, well, we're going to do everything we possibly can to not allow this to take effect. We're going to override the will of the people. What a bunch of nice guys, hey? They can't even hold up to an election. Well, of course, we've seen that before. What a bunch of scum. If you're in Ohio, I feel very badly for you guys. Do start making phone calls, though. You got to shake up the legislators.
Yeah, feels like she's got a second one under there. Can't seem to get it out though. It's stuck.
Well,
Yeah,
you
well,
just pick up the move the dresser someday and think of it as a food bank.
yeah. So, where are we at here?
So this topic, why did you pick this, or did Perp pick this, and we're fulfilling her need?
Purple picks the topic, so I just start the shows.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be a little hard. Um, I'm not very good at writing, so
We got today history of it. I Love to Write Day was created in 2002 by Delaware-based author John Riddle. Riddle has been writing for the past 30 years and has written a total of 34 books. Actually, it's 35 books now. I have to look that up beforehand. That's why he decided to create a day dedicated to the love he and many other people will have for writing. And he said, my goal for I Love to Write Day is to have people of all ages spend in time writing. They can write a poem, a love letter, or a greeting card, an essay, a short story, start a novel, finish a novel. The possibilities are endless. People will need to change, be challenged, and write. Writing is but one of many creative ways to express yourself. So many for many people, well, that I love for writing day, it will be the beginning of their writing career.
I guess I kind of agree with that. Everybody should be involved with some kind of writing in their life.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
it it gets you better at English if you focus on it and look for your mistakes and look to improve. But for me, it also makes me have to look things up and research stuff and be more knowledgeable. I think that's good for everybody.
Yeah, I run quite a bit of that too, looking stuff up.
But then again, it is much easier, like for the megas, to not ever have to lift a book since they're high school days. It's a lot less strain on your back and this kind of stuff.
Oh, what have you been writing?
Who, me?
Yeah,
I'm working on a I guess you could call it a novel. It's I think going to be interesting. It's not going to be. It's going to follow a genre that has been used by others. and it's going to be about uh, trans a trans person in particular, and kind of their journey that they've gone through. But unlike the others, it is not going to be a happy tale
Hmm.
because there are very dark sides to this situation that I haven't seen anybody write about. I mean, I haven't certainly read all the books, but I haven't seen anybody approach the serious darkness of it. Um, I think, oh God, Boys Don't Cry, I think might have been one of the first to entertain a more darker side, but I can beat that. I can make it even more grim than that. Um, and we'll see where it goes. You know, I don't know if I'm going to finish it. I don't know if anybody will ever like it, but I'm going to try and see what I can do. I want it to be a little educational too. You know, certainly not focusing on lesson plans or anything like that.
Sounds like it
Um,
would be.
but yeah, I think it should be interesting that way. And yes, like any writer, there will be parts of me in it. There's always parts of what you write in your writing, intentional or otherwise. But I will take some elements that I'm personally familiar with and embellish them into something that's more appropriate for literature instead of just shucking and jiving between friends.
So it's not you. It's a fictional character in there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody has their basic life path, and so I'll tap into mine and get some ideas. There's going to be a whole lot about my life I do not even touch, but there'll be certain things that I think are worth playing with, and I'm not going to tell anybody who those are. What those are, it's just going to be there.
Write what you know. You're drawing from your experiences.
Hmm. For example, your character. Oh well, no, I shouldn't go into that in public. No,
Oh,
never mind.
that asshole, huh?
It's really hard. I don't know if anybody else has strategies about this. How do you name your characters?
Oh yeah, that can be difficult. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually go to the baby name sites to get ideas. And
Hmm.
I'll look up the meaning of the name and all that, and see if it'll kind of fit with the character and what I'm trying to come up with.
The name of the main character is Gaelic, and I did quite a bit of. Oh, it took almost a half a day to decide on the first name, um, and and then it's going to end up being changed at some point. So it's kind of an interesting exercise.
Just kind of a filler name, huh?
Yeah, and the other hard part for me, anyway, was to create some kind of family history, not necessarily a family structure, because it's going to be a single parent. But there's with a single parent, there's other relatives and friends and things that influence your life and change your direction and things. So that's kind of hard for me to make up. I didn't have a tremendously close relationship with my extended family, out to cousins and uncles and aunts and things like that. Um, so it's hard to know how if I'm overplaying some type of influence that a person has and that kind of stuff. It's just got to be careful and have some good, well-intentioned people out there to read, um, test read chapters here and there, and tell me what they think. Tell me if I'm going wrong some direction, and should I get those Nazis out of that scene, or should I keep communism instead? I don't know.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Granny,
Surprise. Hello. How are you, Jenny?
I'm all right. I'm so happy to see you. It's
I'm
been a
happy
long
to see
time.
you too. Well, see your picture.
Yeah, you don't want to actually see me. It'll just hurt your eyes.
I doubt that.
Oh,
I
right now
don't.
we're talking about what we are writing.
I took a break from writing to come and join you when I saw your
Well,
topic. Yeah.
nice.
I'm trying to work ahead a little bit because next week, all the grandkids are coming next week for Thanksgiving. And
Oh
Robin will
yeah.
be here, and Robin's bringing his boyfriend. And it's the first time we've ever had everybody together. And so I plan to spend all day Tuesday cooking which means I have to have next week's video finished on Monday.
Whoa,
So I've already finished
the
this
hell?
week's video, and now I'm working on next week's.
Hold on. Something just hit my house.
Oh no!
What?
Something hit his house. A car? A bird?
It took him offline.
Yeah. Well, he just muted himself.
Oh, okay. But still, that shouldn't happen with a little spinning, whatever it is.
Oh, you've got that. I don't see that.
Yeah, it's going round and round. I hope
Okay.
everything's okay. They were supposed to have been getting some weather down there today,
Oh, really?
but I thought it was going to be supposed to be nicer up towards Mage's neighborhood.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe the wind blew something into the house then.
Yeah. Or maybe it was SpaceX launched something and it fell off. Yes.
That could be. Hi, Mark Caesar. Hi, Pragmatic Crystal.
Pragmatic Crystal. That's an interesting name. Could you explain why it's Pragmatic Crystal? I mean, I never imagined crystals having to follow rules or not. That's
Well, I don't see anything on the roof, but something hit it.
Is it real windy? Did something blow into it?
No, just there were some branches that need to be cut down on the oak tree, and there's a few that still are kind of somewhat over the house.
Mm.
So probably one broke off and fell, but I don't see any branches up there.
Okay.
apparently something came down from the sky in Minnesota. I think it was last night or night before.
Mm.
You know, the description and shots from your typical Ring camera or something like that kind of make it look like it was a meteor, but it
Oh, wow.
landed a fair distance away. They don't know exactly where it landed, but it
Mm.
seemed like a long ways away, and everybody heard the noise. So
Mm.
could be very interesting.
Maybe there's aliens inside.
Oh yeah, that or hamburgers, one of the two.
Crystal said, crystals hold information, and I am very pragmatic in my thinking, and my name is actually Crystal.
Oh,
Okay.
Crystal's
Okay.
such a pretty name.
So she's a pragmatic crystal. Okay.
Well, it makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. As I've probably been mentioned, I've worked on that X-Men fan fiction. I'm a little bit stuck at the moment, though.
Mm.
I was
What are you stuck on?
Go ahead.
I was rewriting some of the part, or it's where I'm introducing Cyclops to the story, and I'm also kind of stealing from what's already been written and kind of recombining it. Because that's kind of how this kind of worked out. But I'm also working on my own stuff
Mm-hmm.
to make it all fit together. The way I had it set up is he loses control of his power. There's at a football game as high school, where your Gene, Xavier, and all that see him but can't get to him because all the crowd get running away in panic. But it didn't quite work out, so I'm changing it around. I'm trying changing it around into where he loses control. Well, the paramedics and everything get there, and then they show up. But I'm not sure if that really makes sense either.
This is what they call a fan fiction.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I have set myself up with rules and stuff as to what is guiding it. For instance, I'm basically taking elements from all the other iterations of the comic books, cartoons, movies, whatnot, and just combining it all to one thing, and taking the elements I want and leaving the stuff I don't like.
But you still have to work within a sort of framework of what already exists in the universe that they perceive. And
A little bit, yeah. And also set up myself some rules of all the powers have to be more or less mutant based, with maybe the exception of like cybernetics. No aliens, no magic. So I'm not going to be using any of the other Marvel characters, and unless I absolutely have to for story, the plot, and even then they might be altered from what they actually were. So they, like I was considering, like with Reed Richards, Mister Fantastic, the Fantastic Four might not have their powers for the most
Mm.
part, but I'm just considering not only, but having them in is the reason why I want them in. Is Reed was the one who invented the unstable molecules for their costumes, and he also has a son who's a mutant in the comic book. So I'm trying to include as many mutant characters as I can.
Are you going to have a love interest at some point?
Oh, there's definitely love interest there. Maybe you have Scott and Jean, for instance, is starting off pretty much right off the bat. Uh, I mean, there's definitely going to be ones, and the way I have I actually do have an ending thought out. I don't have it quite worked out how it's going to how I'm going to get there, but
Write Azari into it.
what was that?
Write Azari into the story.
Oh, well, I've already gotten written. I'm up to the. I actually had mentioned it as a graphic novel, so I'm actually writing it in issues.
Okay.
Because I'm actually working on. This is actually the second issue I'm working on.
Do you know who Azari is?
Azari? No.
Azari is the son of Black Panther and Storm.
Oh, that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using him since.
I only asked for that because I play a game called Marvel Puzzle Quest that I've been playing for 10 years now. And Robin started the game way back when Robin was in 6th grade. And one day, Robin was doing really well in an event and needed me to finish it for him because these events were timed and it was going to end at 2:00. So Robin said, "Mom, can you play this game for me at exactly 1:45?" And so Robin taught me how to play the game, and I fell in love with it, and I ended up taking over it. But the funniest part is that when Robin created his character, he called himself Azari Lover because he loved Azari. Well, Robin was 12 at the time, and Azari is a 13-year-old kid. So I took over the game, and I've been playing as Azari Lover ever since. So I have this love affair with this 13-year-old kid.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, let's not mention that on the air again.
I asked if I could please be changed to Azari Mother, which would make me Storm.
Oh, Azari is from Storm?
Well, Azari is the child of Storm and Black Panther.
I see.
Unlike the movie, in the comic book, Storm and Black Panther got married. That was a whole issue of comic book was their marriage.
Yeah.
And they have a child named Azari.
I mean, I know who Black Panther is, and I think I know who Storm is, but other than that, I don't know shit about X-Men.
I never did either until I started playing Puzzle Quest.
Storm. Actually, I'll be adding Storm to the my primary roster along with the original 5. Because it just made more sense to bring her in early. Because Xavier in the her backstory in the comics is that Xavier actually meets her when she's still a little young girl. Well, and this is actually where he first meets another mutant for the first time, and with the person who's actually controlling her. She's actually working as a thief in Cairo, and he encounters the Shadow King, and he has this mental battle with the Shadow King, which he wins and drives the Shadow King into this astral plane, so he's left without a body. And it creates this whole rivalry between him and Xavier for going on for pretty much the entire run since then. But he didn't introduce. But he ended up getting Storm later on as an adult, who's functioning as sort of this goddess is for this tribe, and he brings her into the X-Men from there. But it just makes more sense to me that he would bring her in after saving her or something to that effect. or maybe puts her in a foster. Those I was thinking maybe put her into like some kind of foster care. She moves to New York later on, and as a teenager, and that's when he recruits her,
Mm.
already knowing her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to take you guys back to the very, very beginning. Why are the X-Men the X-Men? Where did they get their superpowers? Is it like something they were born with
Yeah,
genetically, or did they, have sex with a radioactive spider or something?
they were born with it. They have what is called an X gene, which is some kind of fancy thing, meaning that once active, can pretty much cause any kind of mutation you can think of.
But it's not associated with the X gene or the XY gene
No, well,
pair.
except for in the movies, it's actually associated with that. But since they actually mentioned that it's carried by the father, or in the movies, but that doesn't make much sense.
No, the father carries the Y gene.
Yeah.
Well, the father would have both an X and a Y, so.
No, wrong kind of gene. Is called an X gene. It's not a X chromosome.
Ah, okay.
Fine. But there's
I was
no
thinking,
reason why the spontaneous gene occurred, or
In the comic books, it's described that the Celestials, these are kind of like Titan-sized godlike beings, came down and kind of screwed around with their genetics and added it in, along with creating other forms of humans.
oh,
That's also where you get the Inhumans from, the Eternals from, and they had these sort of like a subhuman race that apparently died out, and then you have like Homo sapiens
oh no.
and
See
Homo.
that part of it I know about. They didn't die out; they became Republicans.
Yeah. That explains a lot.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
But I do the reason why one of the reasons why I like the X-Men so much is it's a good it's probably a perfect social political platform for any kind of minority race.
Mhm.
It deals with the subject of hatred and bigotry. It was built into the story from the beginning. It was actually it took inspiration from the, I think it was 1960s, these movements with black culture and all that. It's actually where they got the idea from. And even Xavier and Magneto, who made representations of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and their ideologies.
Mm, I did not realize that.
That's a first for me. Interesting. Now, you are doing strictly a written piece, or you're doing a graphic?
I wanted to do it as a graphic novel, but I ran into too many problems with trying to do it that way. So I'm doing it as a strictly written piece for now, at least, which is creating its own problems trying to convert from one to the other. But
Mm.
So you can draw well enough to do a graphic novel?
I used to be able to, not
Wow.
anymore.
I can't even imagine well enough to do a graphic novel.
Me neither.
But I know a little bit about graphic. I know like POW and Blam, um, Blammo.
Well, I was a little bit concerned that with especially with Disney taking over Marvel, that they'd come down on me for doing any kind of graphic novel fan fiction. I figured I could get away a little bit more with just strict writing.
Speaking of which, my husband and I went and saw the Marvels movie last week.
Oh,
And at the end, there's a trailer that indicates that the
I'm
next
familiar
movie
with
is going
this.
to be an X-Men movie. And we were wondering, did Disney recently acquire the X-Men, or did they acquire the X-Men with the purchase of Marvel?
They acquired it with the purchase of Marvel.
Okay. We kind of thought maybe it was a separate deal for the X-Men.
Actually, it may have been a separate deal because I think there was a lot of arguments.
Right.
No, they acquired it with the purchase of Fox. That was it.
Ah, okay.
'Cause Fox had the rights to it, and for a while they couldn't use they had the rights to be able to use any mutant character in Marvel. So Marvel had this big hissy fit and started changing all the characters that were mutants into something else.
Mm.
You need like a table or a chair or something like that? Or?
They changed some of them to mutates, which is basically artificial mutants.
Now, wait a minute. Artificial mutants? Those words feel like they don't go together. Artificial mutants.
Well, that
Essentially,
would be like Spider-Man. You know, he
yeah,
became a mutant because he got bit by a radioactive spider.
kind of, yeah. Basically, either characters we have mutants, which are basically the characters who are born with the ability or potential to develop these superpowers, and then you have mutates who are given it artificially, like Deadpool, for example. He got the injection with the Wolverine thing. So I'll probably allow that to the extent, as long as
Wait,
since it's
wait a minute. Deadpool got an injection from Wolverine?
well, he got some of his genetic material injected into him. That's why he has a healing factor.
Wolverine didn't do it. It was doctors. I don't remember which doctor did it to him.
Yeah, it was a doctor who they had access to Wolverine's genetic material. They created a serum, injected Deadpool with it, and that's how he got his powers.
Deadpool was dying of cancer, and that's
Yeah.
why they to keep him alive.
Well, not exactly.
Did they cover the connection
pretense.
to Wolverine in the movie?
Yes, they did.
Oh, I missed that. How did I miss that?
Well, it was somewhat alluded to. He kind of made a joke about it, but this third Deadpool movie will have actually Wolverine in it.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay, that explains it. I get it now.
Which one?
The one that hasn't been released yet, the third one.
No. I meant which version of Wolverine? Old Man Logan, the younger version with Hugh Jackman, or
the younger version of Hugh Jackman.
He'll
be reprising the role for one last time.
Apparently, those two are real close buddies, and play practical jokes on each other all the time. I'm a Ryan Reynolds junkie. I find him to be very appealing. So I was aware that this movie was going to be with Wolverine, and I had no idea why. Now I understand.
Still, I would love to see Daphne Keane reprise her role as Laura.
Is that the love interest of Deadpool?
No, that's Wolverine's sort of daughter clone.
Ah, I see.
I can't remember what number it was. 53, 25?
23.
23, okay.
X-23 also goes by Talon, or in the comic books they saddled her with Wolverine, just taking the name, and it's garbage. They should have just stuck with giving her own name in Talon, which it gets complicated. But anyway, she was actually originally introduced in the cartoon X-Men Evolution.
Mage, I'm going to ask something in the chat here. Hey, chat, do you see Mage's image, or do you just see a spinning white thing on a black background?
I see the image.
All I see is a black thing.
I see the image on the YouTube stream. So it's just you, it seems.
Oh, God, it's always my fault.
Carol says she sees the image. And so does Mark Caesar.
I'm going to log off and come back in.
Okay.
All right.
I have something kind of exciting that is coming into play in my video this week. And that is not this week, I should say next week, but the one that I'm writing right now is I was looking at responding to a Ray Comfort video, and I'm often hesitant to respond to Ray Comfort because he puts music on his videos that is copyrighted. So if you use it, the video is ineligible for monetization, or you get monetization sharing. And this the one that I looked at, it had some music in it, so I uploaded it to YouTube to just test out and see if it had any copyright on it, and it did. But then I discovered that my software that I use for editing, which is Wondershare Filmora, has a new feature that is an AI that will detach music from a video so that you don't have the copyright issue. And so I tried it out. Now you do have to cut the video into 3-minute segments for it, but it worked. It completely detached the music from the voice, and I could throw away the music and I can use Ray Comfort's video and not have copyrighted music in the background.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And which software was that again?
I use Wondershare Filmora.
Wondershare. Okay.
Let's see. It's Filmora 13 now. When I originally bought it, it was Filmora 9. But I bought a lifetime license to Filmora 9, so every time they upgrade, I just get a free upgrade.
I've been using DaVinci. I actually need to update it. I'm using the old version.
I made out by buying that lifetime license. I didn't realize it at the time. It was when they upgraded to Filmora 11. They tried to charge me again, but there were a number of people who had bought lifetime licenses that said, "Hey, you promised us lifetime upgrades. This is an upgrade." So then they gave us the upgrade.
I'm back.
Hello, Jenny.
Hello.
Do you see Mage right now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, very good.
A very, very tiny mage.
Hello.
Whose head is about, I'd say 2 or 3 millimeters tops.
I usually like to call him Ray Comfort.
Yep. There's somebody on Twitter that uses that as a handle, Ray Comfort.
He's such a dick.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the ones I don't believe if he actually believes in his own messaging.
You don't think so? I think he does.
I don't think he's honest. I think he's just in it for the con.
What do you think about Matt Walsh? You think he's in it for the con?
Hard to say. Maybe a little bit of both with him.
Yeah, I think so too.
He feels like a circus character. It just feels so completely artificial on every level to me. I wonder if he has an actual family or if he just says that. Well, who'd want to be related to him,
Right, exactly.
You disown him. Dad, I'm out of here. You're really a butthead.
Carol says, I liked Bent Hovind. Who did Bent on Dapper Dinosaur? I'm going to have to go check that one out.
I put Matt Welsh in about the same level as Steve Crowder.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, that fits. What a subhuman person that guy is. I thought he was in real trouble with his wife of divorce or something because he was accusing her of cheating when he really was the one who was cheating or something like that. I don't even avoid Peyton places.
Do you ever see the security footage that was leaked, where he was berating her and abusing her verbally?
Yes, that I did see. That's about the time that I heard this rumor surfacing. It sounded like he was getting what he deserved.
He was one I wasn't quite sure if it was just a grift or if he was, really believes the bullshit he spews. Apparently, he really believes it.
Damn.
I always wonder about the prosperity gospel people, if they really believe the stuff that they say.
I suppose it depends on what level of it they're on.
Well, I'm thinking particularly about like White. I can't think of her first name now, but she was the spiritual advisor for Trump.
Oh, that crazy lady?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think she actually believes that junk. I think she only does it because it makes her millions and millions of dollars.
Well, then
Kane,
apparently it
White
works for
Kane,
her.
Paula White Kane. That's her name.
Boy, they what a cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, before you got here, I made quick mention of the stunt that the Republican Party's up to in Ohio. Are you familiar?
No, I'm not. What's going on?
Well, the Ohio's voters passed that
Abortion ban in the Mm-hmm.
well, the right for women to have their bodies back.
Right. I said that wrong. A
And,
ban on banning abortion is what I meant. But yeah.
and it was a very adequate majority of 56%.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And now the Republicans are saying, well, we don't think that's valid. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't get into effect.
Yeah, because they don't like democracy. They're all about getting rid of democracy.
Well, I was wondering what your take would be. That yeah, it does. It sounds almost like they've gotten their marching orders from the RNC
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to deny all elections from here on, or something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm. Or the Family Research Council.
Oh God! Didn't they get wiped out by a hurricane once?
The Family Research Council?
Yeah, was it that
I don't
other
know.
one?
I don't know. I hadn't heard that. But then again, they stay in the background a lot. It is really hard. You have to look for anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
But
Apparently, they're
they have a
also
lot of influence.
they're one of the prime movers behind this Plan 2025.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, very scary people.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting story with Dapper Dino. Oh, I actually helped him out as he was starting his channel up.
Cool.
Yeah, I came across him on Facebook just as he was starting his channel. I was helping him out behind the scenes a little bit.
Is it a learn how to dance thing for dinosaurs, or?
He mostly focuses on evolution, and usually taking the piss out of creationists.
Well, that's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm throwing out links here, this link is a playlist of a lecture course on writing. It's a pretty good one. It's worth watching, even if you've watched it before.
Do you know our current Speaker of the House is a young Earth creationist?
Oh
Yep.
my God! I knew he was a nutcase, but I didn't realize he was completely
That
gone.
far gone? Yeah.
That's the least of his problems.
Oh,
Scary
God.
enough.
Oh man, this country.
I do not get how people like him and so many others, Matt Getz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, I mean, how do these people get elected? Who is voting for these people?
Well, apparently, did you hear that Jacob Kinsley, aka the QAnon shaman, is running for office?
Yeah, I heard that.
Why not? Some idiot will vote for him.
Did you hear Marjorie Taylor Greene's latest bill she's introduced?
No, what'd she do? I'm a little behind the times. Our TV went out on, let's see, it was about 4 days ago, and we just got it back yesterday. So I'm a little behind on a few things.
She has introduced a bill into Congress that will make receiving any kind of gender affirming care for anyone of any age a felony.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that interesting? So I guess I'm going to be
I'm
going
sure
to
it'll
prison.
never pass.
Uh,
There's no way it's going to pass.
I could see it becoming one of the bargaining chips on the budget.
Mm.
that it would be an add-on to the budget, and when it comes down push to shove, there's no way they're going to protect us to ruin their chances at something else. That we would definitely be sacrificial. It's pretty
Quite
scary.
possible.
It is scary.
I mean, that for you guys in the chat, what that means, if that happens, that means that trans people will not be eligible to go out and get anything such as therapy, such as their hormone replacement therapy, which is the same therapy that non-trans people can take.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're
That's
trans, it's illegal.
one of the reasons why I don't think it can pass. You can't make a drug illegal for one purpose and legal for another.
I don't know. I just don't know. You're the lawyer. I will see to your knowledge.
Mm-hmm. You can ban a drug for being illegal for not having any proper medical usage, but to say that you can use it for this purpose but not that purpose, I don't know that anything like that has ever been done.
Yeah. And how will they differentiate between someone like me who gets estradiol for my trans issues, but I'm also taking it because I'm going to get crushed by osteoporosis if I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So how are they going to deal with that?
Yeah.
This woman is just so dumb, so annoying, so immoral.
Mm-hmm.
She really needs to
Exit planet.
Yeah, I can't say what I was thinking.
Well, we do have spaceships. She could be sent away.
Well, not today though. If SpaceX is just about to, or just has launched their big thing down in Texas, the big Elon penis, the
Mm-hmm.
silver Elon penis. Yeah.
We could chip in and give her a ticket, but then we've got to figure out how to make sure it doesn't come back.
Maybe we could bribe Bezos.
What about that plan? What about Elon Musk's plan to go to Mars? That was a one-way ticket.
There we go. We'll send her to Mars.
Yeah, could we wait that long?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe she could go find the Titanic.
There we go. There we go. She can go find the Titanic.
Magical mystery mythical tour. As I've mentioned, I've gotten involved with TikTok, and boy, when you get out of the mainstream, TikTok eventually finds what your interests are and locks you into that genre of videos and things like that. So if you're into politics, you ended up getting all these political things recommended to you, and so on and so forth. There are some people in the political field who are writing songs which are just outrageously funny, pointing and laughing at the right wing and things. If you're interested in that kind of thing, I would say go to TikTok and do a search for political songs, rewrites. I don't know. A lot of them use old lyrics of something else, but some are original.
So did Purple take Sloth Girl for chemo today?
No, she had some other appointment. They were able to. Basically, if she didn't take this appointment now, it would have been like 6 months or longer.
Mm.
And we don't know what it's for, but we have our suspicions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured you'll understand that.
It didn't say what it was for, but we do suspect what might be.
Okay.
Well, that would be neat. Although even with today's appointment, it would mean there's probably going to be like 6 months till that event could happen, unless it's another procedure that we're not aware of and has more of an emergency profile to it.
So,
So what are you writing right now, Jenny?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
No.
you've got your novel. We mentioned you went into some detail on that.
I am making my attempt, as so many foolish Americans do, to write a novel. Um, it's going to be about a trans person's journey in life, and it's not going to be a happy novel. So you can certainly imagine what that means and where it will go with that.
Well, I also have a my zombie story, which is kind of the working title. Well, that that's more of a novel to work on. Basically, every chapter or so is to focus on one of the protagonists, and the whole overarching thing is how they come together into a group in this zombie apocalypse kind of world. And the original thought on that was I originally was thinking, what would somebody who's like truly evil do in a situation where society breaks down, where having that society and knowing they'd get caught if they went out and did the things they were thinking of doing. I mean, what would that person do in a situation where society has been removed from the equation? It was kind of the original idea of what got me started on working on that story in the begin with.
I imagine zombies are kind of easy to write, since there's really no rules about their characterization.
Oh, I do create rules for my story.
Oh yeah, sure. Every writer does for their own story, but that there's not some universal paradigm that zombies have to fit into, other than eating brains.
Oh no, not even that. Actually, the whole brain eating thing started in the '80s. The Return of the Living Dead.
Hmm.
Before that, they were actually just eating flesh.
Oh,
Actually,
I
even before that, it was actually what they didn't really eat people to begin with.
Mark Caesar says, I'm safe from the zombie apocalypse. No brains.
But it is actually kind of terrifying when you think about the original concept of the brain eating from those movies. These they actually captured one of the zombies and was interrogating her, and she was saying, "Not people, brains." Means, okay, why just brains? It makes the pain go away. I can feel my body rotting.
oh, you.
So the whole reason the zombies eat brains is to temporarily stop feeling their bodies rotting and feeling all the pain that they're experiencing.
They
So
can't
did
tell
they eat
because
their own brains?
No, it has to be fresh. It has to be live brains.
Oh, okay.
so they don't know they're losing body parts by looking behind them and seeing like a finger or an arm, sitting back there they just dropped. Or
They're aware of everything.
and why do their arms and stuff go before their legs?
Nope.
Oops, we lost Jenny. Probably an internet issue. Oh, there she is. So why do their arms go before their legs?
Yeah, sure.
No, some of them lose their legs first.
Uh-huh. Now, is zombieism a virus, or some mystical mutation?
In in the Return of the Living Dead, it was a chemical.
Hmm.
Oh,
They kind of took notes from Agent Orange. They was actually apparently was they described it in the story. It was developed as a defoliant for to destroy marijuana crops, and it happened to have this side effect of causing the dead to reanimate.
well, that explains the a lot of the hippies that you see nowadays that just kind of like walk around in space, don't talk or nothing. That's
Another interesting aspect to the Return of the Living Dead zombies is they were intelligent. They could plan. They could use tools. They could talk. As I mentioned before, they interrogated one.
So they're not just having a war with humans; they're having a structured, strategic, and tactical conflict resolution, with the reward of eating our brains.
Kind of, yeah. They actually set traps in the movie.
Now, what
Where
happens when they run out of brains?
they'd be screwed.
Maybe they'd have to start a little cattle farm with human brains.
No,
Being
Yes, they need to have the humans procreate so they keep
actually,
getting fresh brains.
Actually, I had thought of how they could get away with not having to eat brain, just based on the first three movies. In the third movie, they mentioned that it wasn't so much the brain that they needed, but rather the electrical impulses in the brain. Means that was what was causing them to have the temporary the sense of not feeling the pain anymore, becoming almost normal. Well, and in the second movie, they actually had a situation where if you shock them enough with enough electricity, they'll actually shut down. And so I came up with the idea of why not hook up some kind of battery with a low voltage wire, maybe connected to the tongue, and that would send impulses to them every so often, so they wouldn't have to eat brains.
Well, why wouldn't you build a device that would tempt them to use a device with the gratification of reducing the pain, but that every once in a while gives a 50,000 volt 100 amp charge to turn them into a piece of dust?
Oh, burning them is not a good idea because they actually that's how the whole chemicals ended up spraying in the first movie. They accidentally released the chemicals from the canister, the military canister, and they got into everything in the warehouse, which happened to also have cadavers in it. They chopped up the cadavers, brought them to a morgue. Morgue was guy's friend, and they cremated all the remains. Well, all that smoke went up into the air, caused some kind of acid rain, which caused all the chemicals to rain back down into the cemetery.
Mm.
Kind of a localized storm front, huh?
Yeah,
Yep.
kind of. There are a few errors in the movie as of them coming back, but
Now, another question I have is, if human brains do this for them, and it's not the brain itself, but the electrical thing, why can't they eat cow brains?
should work.
Good
Eating
question.
brains of other animals. They did show in the second movie them chasing after a dog and eating up a pet store. So I'm guessing probably
Mm.
other animals work.
Uh,
And
well,
other animals. And by the way, other animals actually are resurrected. It's not just humans.
unless they're afraid of mad cow disease.
What's this? Oh, hello.
Hey, Sinister Porpoise.
Hey, Parps.
Hello. Athena's tail says hello. Can I be heard? Oh, there we go. All right, now that I have taken the other sound off, I will not get an echo.
Very good.
What?
Okay, I will not get an echo of me speaking a few seconds later because of the delay.
All right. Now I understand. Remember, when you're sharing new things with me, you have to really address it like I'm 5 years old, because mostly I am.
Maybe it's just being at the end of the day, given the age group I deal with, but I swear you said nude things with you.
Well, that'd be okay. I kind of hide from nudity. When I'm home alone and I'm always naked, I never look in the mirror. Don't ever. I'm A, worried about the broken glass, and B, I just don't want to see myself. It would be a horrible thing.
Yeah, I get that.
It's kind of some kind of Medusa effect thing going on there, huh?
Uh-huh. Except when I'm on TikTok, there they think I'm beautiful. but the pictures are much smaller than here. So
Oh, you can watch TikTok on the computer.
I don't know. I don't have one, but I want one of the new Macs. Oh, what a power machine!
Listen, if we ever decide to do a fundraiser for a computer, I guarantee you're not getting a Mac.
Fine, then keep your fundraiser.
Most of us don't have that kind of cash.
Well, if it's $1 from each person, then we only need to fool
And
like
about
2,500
5,000
people.
My first computer was a Macintosh.
Yeah.
Now, we do have some tech people. What could happen is they get an IBM PC or PC and they make a Hackintosh.
That's all right as long as it doesn't stall, crash, or any of those other things from bad programming.
Actually, no, you can't do that. Can't do that with the newer chips because it's an ARM chip. The older ones were Intel.
I didn't build a Hackintosh in the strictest sense that it was built with Intel base motherboard, but I have collected various parts from other Macs and put a Mac together with just Mac parts.
But the Hackintosh has only worked with the Intel
Right.
chip. Or an AMD chip, but they were using Intel. Athena, did you miss me?
I never compared. The motherboards can't possibly be the same because all the shit that you got to add cards into a PC for are automatically built in with a Mac system.
The motherboards are not necessarily the same because Mac has its own specified hardware.
Mm-hmm.
But since it was an Intel chip, they used the same assembly language.
Oh yeah, that I would expect. That would make sense.
And because the machine language was the same, you could run Windows software on a Mac fairly easily without emulation and install Windows directly on it.
Yep, there's partitioning software that comes with every Mac just for that purpose.
There are ARM versions of Windows. You can get one for the Raspberry Pi that isn't very good, and I don't know why you'd use it. But
somebody built a Raspberry Pi into a miniature early Macintosh clone. It was really cute. It actually worked.
Were they emulating it, or because I thought, what were the early Mac chips? I thought they were Motorola.
Yeah, Motorola 6800 in the first generation, then 6820, 6830, 6840.
Oh, right, because the Amigas were using the same chips.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've lost the people who aren't tech nerds.
Yeah, I'm listening, but I don't have anything to contribute. Nothing of any value.
That's okay.
I will respectfully disagree with the Mac naysayers, but I'm not going to get into any details and try and fight and argue about that anymore. But I love the days when, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, everybody said, Apple's going to go out of business any day now. It's just, they can't sell anything. They're just absolute crap and nobody wants them. And, I guess they kind of changed that story, didn't they?
Well, I think Apple may get a following if they keep their privacy protections up and do more than they have been. Because people really don't like the fact that Google, Facebook, and others spy on them. And if you have an iPad, one of the things you can do is ask them not to send data.
The most insane thing about the privacy griping of Americans is that they allowed their politicians to give away their privacy decades ago.
This isn't even politicians, but
no. But look, in Europe, they have privacy laws that we do not have, and places like Google and that are not allowed to do that sort of thing to their users. And if they do, they're going to go down with some awful major fines and penalties.
Jenny, have you noticed you look an awful lot like a tortoiseshell cat right now? Oh, never mind. Athena just moved. You still... Now you look like a different part of a tortoiseshell cat.
Do I look like a cat's ass?
Well, I need to get going, but it was fun hanging out with all of you.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
A lovely surprise, and please do again.
Okay, I will. Bye.
Bye bye.
Athena, I really got to fix the blinds you've destroyed. So yeah, I mean, it's not that we wouldn't want to get you a Mac. It's just that Macs aren't cheap.
No, they're not. I have never. Well, I only bought one new Mac in all my life. All the others have been used, a couple of years old, and never had a problem.
But also, don't forget Google and Facebook deliberately lobby Congress to avoid increased privacy laws.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. But Americans did give it up back in the late '60s, early '70s, when direct mail campaigns began to surface in your mailbox off of mailing lists and stuff, and a number of people said, "No, you can't do that. That's private information." And most of the people said, "Who cares?" And so
Well,
they did whatever they wanted. And now it's too late.
I don't mind Google and Facebook collecting some information just for better services. Like, if Google wants to recommend nearby restaurants to me based on my cell phone location, that's often convenient.
Hello.
Hi, I'm sorry I missed Godless Granny. Damn.
By seconds there.
I know. I was all excited. I haven't been in a room with her in ages. It's like shit. Oh man.
I'm sorry. I think I chased her up. Sorry.
But hi, Porpoise. Hi, Jetty. Hi, Mage.
Hey,
Where's Purple?
off at a doctor's appointment.
I'm sorry. I think I chased her off by talking about processors. Because I was seeing that glazed look I get when I cover a math class.
Were you processing? What were you? Were you processing meat? No, probably not. Damn.
I was getting that strange look that it's like, what strange foreign language are you speaking, Ms. Porpoise?
And got back in the chat.
I mean,
Cool. Hey, Backpack, come on in.
Yeah, you got the links in the MidAmerican DM chat, DM group there.
Well, I've been chewing this gum for like 5 days now. It's kind of lost its teeth. I'm going to get rid of it. Thank you.
Now, does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight?
No, well, I have a little cup that I use to put it in, not on the bedpost.
No, but it does turn into an octopus and try to fly its kite.
I remember my grandmother taking her gum and having this little tray, little glass tray that she'd put it in.
The only reason I had gum this time is because I like certain brands of mints, and they were out, so I had to get something that was minty and tolerable.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking for my Altoids.
Altoids are great. And the tins are even better. You know, the tins can hold things.
I can't believe, how did I lose my fucking Altoids? Jeez Louise.
I used to pop those things all the time.
That was a fresh tin, damn it. I like the wintergreen are my favorite. I'm not into spearmint. Well, spearmint's kind of okay, but peppermint.
Did you all see that Diana was online yesterday?
No.
Yes.
It was super good to see that she's there. She's still Diana. But,
looking and sounding healthier?
She's looking, well, a wee bit. Her connection was terrible, so her internet connection was awful. But she's and she was in a dark, dingy place. She seemed rather bad lighting. Let's put it that way.
She was just in the kitchen without the lights on.
Yeah. So Mage, yeah, that's right. You were on. You were
I was in there.
You're in the chat.
I have to ask, why in the kitchen?
That's where she usually likes to set up.
Okay.
Jenny, I put a link in private chat for you for a MacBook that's still more than you'd pay for a new PC, but it's not a bad.
I will forward that link to you in Shitter.
Hi, Maya.
Athena, please stop playing with the cord. Please.
People are so not used to this change in name for Twitter. We just don't use it. I'm trying to encourage people to
It's
stop
shitter.
calling them tweets or stop calling them tweets. That'll help change the name. They could, since it's now X, they could call them excrement.
Yes, I actually heard somebody use that already. I'm like, yes, excrement. That's what I was going for.
No idea who that could have been, Mage.
No, it was actually somebody separate from our little group.
But X. I'm sorry, I'm going to call it Twitter until Elon stops dead naming his daughter.
I call it shitter, and I will continue to call it shitter as long as it's as in Shang Xiaoping or whatever the heck it is. The X as in Pinyin.
I always, since Twitter first opened up and they called them tweets, I thought that was dumb. Or calling the people Twitterers or anything like that. They're not tweets, they're twats.
Yeah, I remember the joke of calling it twatter.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the one thing that Elon's done that does make some kind of sense is calling the goddamn things posts. You know, because they're posts.
Yeah.
And it's like Blue Sky gets going and they start calling everything skeets. And that just seems dumb.
Wow. I think if Mastodon can improve its search function,
especially given the fact that Skeets has an interesting other meaning.
Like skeet shooting?
No.
Which is about to become a very major sport. Did you know that?
Skeet shooting?
Uh-huh. There's with all the drone deliveries people are practicing where it's going to be like it's going to be like skeet with prizes.
Drone delivery has not worked as well as people. It's really promoters thought it would.
I didn't see that really working all that well, honestly.
in
on the other
Afro-American slang, skeet means ejaculation.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I heard that.
Okay, I'm just going to change the subject quickly. It's like those little robots. Those little robots. They're really cute. It's like they actually do seem to work well for delivery. There are a few on my campus, and people actually get protected with those little robots that deliver food.
Well, I was going to say, I'm surprised Trump didn't name his social media site Trump Social and call the posts trumpets.
Well, he is enough of a narcissist, gets thrown around too much. Egomaniac to do that.
Or you could really
there
hit
are
him
other
hard
words.
with the worst word you could possibly apply to him, and that would be Trump. Trump is its whole new swear word.
Well, if they're little cards, you could call them Trump cards.
Yep, but then you're demeaning Bridge and Schwarzkopf and bunches of other games.
So, fun fact. about skeet shooting, and it is a sport. It's actually an Olympic sport.
Mm-hmm.
And in what year was it?
1862.
Whenever the Barcelona Olympics were, I can't remember the year. But in that Olympiad, when the Olympics were held in Barcelona, the gold medalist in skeet shooting was a Chinese woman. And there weren't separate divisions. There was no men's skeet shooting, women's skeet shooting.
Mm-hmm.
There was just skeet shooting. And a Chinese woman, won for the first time. In the next Olympiad, for the next Olympiad, the Skeet Shooting Federation, World Federation, changed the rules to have a women's division and a men's division. So she couldn't compete in the overall division again, ever. And they've never changed it back. So in Atlanta, there were men's and women's skeet shooting.
So now, what are they going to do if a trans woman decides to go after women's skeet shooting?
I don't know. It's up to the world federations to determine eligibility for women's divisions. There's never been. There are no eligibility criteria and never have been for the men's divisions.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. When people want to talk to me about trans in sports and sports in sports, trust me, I know this history because I've been working on this for 3 fucking years for sailing. It's so stupid. The whole thing's dumb.
Uh-huh.
Well, I hear the first openly trans man in boxing is 3-0 in his wins.
Yeah, I heard something about that too. I'm not a fight fan, so I didn't follow it up, but
Okay, well,
good for them.
Yeah, he's doing good.
I am going to go fill out my timesheet, and I hope you have a good day, everyone, because I should get to that before I forget.
Well, have a nice
All right.
time.
Later. Thank you for
Be
stopping
sure
by.
you mark off this time on your timesheet.
It doesn't matter. I get paid by the day, so
Professional
Perfect.
training.
Exactly.
don't think I could justify that, and I would still get paid by the day. So
Face green smiling, face green smiling.
I don't know.
Oh, is that an emoji that wasn't taking? Interesting.
Oh. Yeah, there's a couple of emojis. This doesn't.
I don't know.
This doesn't translate onto StreamYards though. There are a couple of there are a couple of green emoji smiley faces, like a square.
So, Jenny, are you looking for a computer?
No, I started out my comment. I saw the promo for the new Mac Portable, and it just absolutely has me lusting for one.
Oh yes. Well,
and so that was I'd mentioned, and then the conversation degraded from there.
We do need to get you a laptop or something, though.
Well, I lust for one of those too, but I did settle for a reconditioned Dell sort of mini form desktop, which improved my streaming ability tremendously, and it was cheap.
Well, that link that Porpoise sent you, that's for looks like a Mac. It's refurbished for under $400.
That's worth doing.
Where's the source of this?
I sent you. I forwarded the link to you on Cheddar.
Oh,
You
okay.
you'll find that
Okay.
out.
All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, I have been looking at the classifieds in Craigslist and stuff, and there are definitely some IMAX and things that you can score for, 300, 400, 500. But I don't want to get anything with the old Intel chipset because it's just too far behind the current software technologies, and it's just a guaranteed dead horse in a year or so.
Mm.
So I want to get something somewhat more current. I heard that some of the new to me, but the laptops that use the M1 chip are available used for under 1,000. That's all I really know for now. But they've gone to the M2 chip for the new stuff, and they say it in some cases it's 200 or 300% faster and all this kind of stuff. But I'm old. I don't need fast anymore.
Yeah. Well,
Just reasonable pace.
Yeah. I mean, I've
When
used PCs in work and stuff like this. For anything from just word processing to managing an entire color lab. And most of my negativity towards them is based on using it. Um, but I would really prefer to stick with Mac, and even if I'm going to use an emulator of some sort and to pull in Windows because I have to have it for certain things. I've been Mac since 1984. I'd rather just die staying with Mac. It's been such a part of my life for so long. Good God, that's 40 years next year. Holy shit.
I don't. Ain't it fun how time flies?
Yeah. I still have my original Mac Plus.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I still had my Commodore.
Yeah, I wanted to buy one of those used and play with it just to have had that experience.
They do have emulators for them, so.
They looked too complex for me when I was young and they came out. I just no, I can't do that. That's way off beyond me.
Yeah, it was,
Which is why I was interested in Macs, because the first introduction of the Mac, the 128K piece of junk, it was all graphics, and it was just incredibly simple to follow, and it was just totally intuitive, and everybody I saw who walked up to it could operate it from the first moment. It was very cool. So I felt like, I can do this.
Yeah, my dad got the Commodore 64 and had pretty good setup. Had the monitor, had the disk drives and keyboard, joysticks, all that jazz. And you had of course, you had the magazines with all the code that you copy into the computer, and you actually can get games and stuff off of it that way. Spend all the time copying all the codes in. That was like his first experience with programming.
Oh dear.
And one must not forget the glory of pumping an application into it by a cassette recorder.
We did not have the set recorder. We had the floppy disks.
Oh, you were the modern type.
Yeah, we were the modern type.
Did you ever use punch tape? That was the punch tape and cards. That was the thing when I was in
I
high
didn't
school.
use that. But my great grandmother or my great aunt did.
My great grandmother did. Okay.
My great aunt. She actually worked with some of the first computers that were in the bank, and it was like an entire room, and you used punch cards.
Yeah, punch cards. Yeah. But deck of punch cards or reel of punch paper tape that you'd sit at teletype terminals. I mean, this is before CRT screens or the display computer, any kind of actual display. You just sort of sit there at teletype machines and and feed your program in with the punch tape. You go feed it through the reader, and off you go.
When I was at
Deck
UWM,
PDP-8. See, this is why Porpoise left, because she knew some fossil would come in and start talking.
when I was in college at UW Milwaukee, I worked in the psychology department, and one of my jobs there was to fill out coding sheets, is what they called them, where I would fill in, boxes like you do on a voting machine, check the box and the computer reads the dot. And I would take the data off of whatever experiment was going on, and I have to code it, and then those were used to create the punch cards. It was just unbelievably arduous. Each card would take you, God, 4 or 5 minutes to do, and there were thousands of cards. God, how archaic! How did they ever catch on with that much effort involved? And they're still saying, "Oh, they'll make your life easier." Bullshit.
Oh, this is a good one. Disney Pinnacle is preparing to be the next big NFT failure, according to The Verge.
What's a Disney Pinnacle?
Apparently, it's something that Disney is rolling out. It's going to have collectible digital tokens in form of a digital pin that you can collect. Apparently, it's going to be effectively NFTs. Apparently, from what I've gathered, Bob Iger, the head of Disney right now, the CEO of Disney, he jumped both feet first into the whole NFT thing back a few years ago.
Yeah.
So basically, Disney's setting themselves up for another failure.
They can afford it.
I don't know. They've been tanking pretty hard these past few years.
I just cannot understand why NFTs took off. The first moment I saw one and had somebody explain it to me, I'm going, well, duh, haven't you ever heard of like a screen dump?
They're not really even worth as much as fucking baseball cards. It's like it's the same thing. It's like, oh my God, really? These are digital baseball cards. It's like, what?
They weren't too well done.
Oh, wait a minute. Answers and Atheism have some. Fox thinks the Marvels are too woke for them. Really? In what way? I was asking Answers and Atheism a question. How is Fox thinking the Marvels is too woke? What did they say that upset them so much?
Fox, really?
Oh, I see. Fox says a woman beating up a man just ain't right.
I can think of other problems with that movie from what I'm hearing.
I guess they're not keen on Billie Jean King either.
From the reviews I've heard about the Marvels, is basically it was more of a girls type movie, sort of like Barbie, except set with the Marvel MCU trappings, and apparently it didn't really work too well.
That's because little boys are very bigoted about watching a woman accomplish anything on screen. They don't go to women-oriented films, whether they're drama, comedy.
I don't think that was the issue. I think it was just the way they wrote it. Plus, I'm hearing a lot of Captain Marvel. Well, Brie Larson was fairly wooden. I watched the Captain Marvel, the first Captain Marvel, and I thought her acting, she could have been replaced by a cardboard cutout that was animated by CGI, and wouldn't have noticed the difference.
Yeah, that's another one of those sexist comments. I saw her film, and I thought it was just perfect. Well, not perfect. Nothing's perfect. I was completely entertained by it and enjoyed it, and I was hoping for a sequel.
No, this is what my Arabic
apparently this was supposed to be the sequel. there was another issue I've heard with it was there's too much homework involved. Effectively, to understand the characters, you have to have watched the Miss Marvel little TV series. You have to have watched the Scarlet Witch TV series to know who the other two characters are.
Well, I watched the Miss Marvel thing, and that was okay, but I also assumed it's television. What do you think you're going to get?
Though I have another thing. I have heard that Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel was the best out of the three.
My Islamic studies and Arabic teacher at college once told me in an essay I wrote for a class in Islamic history, delivered high praise. I did great. It was wonderful. I would have given you an A, but only God is perfect, said he. And I wanted to kill him.
Jeez.
Fuck
Keep
you, Gordon.
fucking religion out of my grades.
And the funny thing is, Gordon Newby was the guy's name, and he was a wonderful fellow. I really enjoyed him a lot. Really great teacher and everything. He wasn't religious at all. It was just, I'm just joking around here. This is my grade point average, you asshole.
Well, how
Demon,
about
Demon, did you made a set for the Marvels? Was it like a background or computer generated? What was it? Tell us more. Tell us more.
Here's what you can do: is you give God 110% so you can get 100%. How's that sound?
Oh yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Or you could just cancel God out of the picture and everybody could be normal and happy instead of trying to kill each other.
Yeah, you got to.
The older I get, the more I despise religion. It just every year it looks like it's like has sought out a new dimension of hate and attacking other people that it can imagine. It just gets worse and worse and worse. It wants control so badly over this nation. It's just very upsetting.
Is it the religion? I think the religion is a justification for people being assholes.
Yeah, there's a specific vein of religion doing that.
I think it's a cover up. I think people invent their gods, and that includes people who say they don't believe in gods.
And just for those who may be out in chat and don't know me well enough, I don't hold that just against Christianity. I hold that to be true with all religions. There are some religions that are less violent by commitment than Christianity or Islam is, but they still all seek to control and dominate and be the best that there is, the only true, and all that horseshit. So I have no time for any religion.
It's kind of like
it's all fantasies. Nothing like that shit exists. It can't.
It's kind of like some of my early experiences with religion. When I was a little kid, we went to this church. It was basically like I remember the sermon was something about God's love and all that. I don't remember I don't remember all the details, but as we were coming out, there was this lady just standing outside the church, and she was using the religion that we were, the whole church service and all that, and she's just spewing all this hateful crap, and using the religion to justify it. And I was like, "You are such a hypocrite." I mean, I'm like, I'm 4 or 5 years old looking at this.
It's been 2 months since I had a beer.
It's only been about 20 years for me. What is that? Baxter?
Good beer. Baxter, yeah.
Is it Australia?
Baxter Brewing up there, and I believe they're in Lewiston, Maine. By Jesus, I believe they are.
The only beer I've found tolerable was the Lucky Buddha.
It's like distinctly Maine.
I love some of the beer names today. They're very, very funny.
This is called Coastal Storm. Right there. That's the Coastal Storm.
Storm or
Good.
STAUM?
Storm. Storm.
Mm.
Spell.
STORM. Storm.
Okay. Okay. So the New England Storm.
Storm. Yes. Yes.
Well, to me,
That's
me
the
most-
New England yes is yes.
well, to me, most beers smell like
There's an A.
rancid piss and taste about the same.
So
Oh, yeah.
that begs the question of when did you taste rancid piss?
I didn't, but I do have a friend who has.
Oh God.
Luckily,
I
it wasn't
don't
rancid.
drink beer too often. It's too gassy.
I shouldn't say it was rancid. It was actually fresh piss. His little brother got on him. They were fighting, got on him, and pissed in his mouth.
Oh. Ugh. Oh yeah, boys. There's a great line I heard that I could bring in right now. No, maybe I should wait. Yeah, I should wait. It just to explain that the flow of my mind. It's a lesbian joke, and it works best with a group of lesbians, and non-lesbians kind of look at each other and go, "What?" So while the lesbians are falling on the floor laughing. So maybe it's not right here.
I generally prefer rum over beer myself.
Well, so do I, really. Rum or gin, or whiskey, or wine.
I had some wine these past couple of weeks. I usually have just a glass on Friday.
Except for gin, I prefer to just drink anything brown. That comes out of a bottle, fresh.
Oh, the wine I had.
Beer.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Apple cider.
The hard apple cider is pretty good. Ever try the Angry Orchard green apple?
Yep.
I like hard cider if it's sweet. I'm sorry. I hear that's heresy.
Hard cider is sweet, yeah.
You know, hard cider, it ain't hard to make. All you gotta do is wait.
Yeah, that's true. That's the reason why I get the heresy of calling wine rotten grape juice.
Well,
No,
that's
seriously.
what
Hard
scares me
cider will
though.
go off quick.
That's what scares me though about pickling and this kind of stuff. You know, making your own sauerkraut at home. You know, just take cabbage, some water, and salt, and let it sit for months or years or whatever. And it's just like, well, how is it that nothing bad grows in there for me to die on?
It's the way it's controlling how it grows. That's how. You basically you control. There's actually quite a bit the science involved in it. I really need to learn more about preserving and fermenting and all that. There's actually what I'd like to do is I came across a thing on how to make your own vinegar. That's interesting.
Oh, how do you do that? Just a little synopsis.
It's basically a fermenting process. Almost the same as making wines and all that. It's just a little bit different process.
Can you alter the concentration of well, vinegar is just an acid, acetic acid. Can you vary the strength of that?
Yeah, I believe you can. Yes.
Hmm.
You also You can also make different flavored depending on what fruits you use.
Ooh, I want mayo flavored vinegar.
What? Mayo flavored. Am
That's
I
not a fruit.
hearing this correctly? Mayo flavored molasses?
No, vinegar.
Okay. I mean, a little lemon juice in there that helps get the whole thing going. Making the emulsion, I suppose.
I was just teasing because of all the anti-mayo sentiment there seems to be today.
I like mayonnaise.
I do too. I mean, I've made my own. It's a wonderful little treat.
No, yeah, I remember doing homemade mayonnaise long time ago. That was good.
Some videos going off here.
I've also made homemade. I've also made homemade butter and homemade whipped cream.
Yeah, butter's surprisingly easy. You know, all you need is heavy cream in a blender.
Or a churn and time.
Yeah, you go do that.
And whipped cream's very much similar to butter. You just don't.
I'm missing two ingredients.
Yeah, you just don't do it quite as long. And you add a buttload of sugar. It's basically the only difference between whipped cream and butter.
Yeah, I've never made butter. I've always had interest in doing it, but I don't own a blender and just didn't want to spend money on one. My mom and dad got one of the first retail commercial, consumer available blenders way long time ago, an Ulster brand. We just thought it was the bee's knees. Look, we can make
It
mugs.
would appear dusk is falling on the coast of Maine. That's Cape Elizabeth, and the lights in the background back there, that's the city of Portland.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well, Portland's actually a little bit more over this away, over to your left, but that's Cape Elizabeth, Maine.
There's a blinking thing too.
Yes, there's a blinking thing right in the middle of the channel, and it's a green one, so you want to leave that to your left as you're going in the channel.
Okay, that's what those colored barrels in the Mississippi mean, huh?
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty. It's the rocky coast of Maine right there. You're kind of looking, the radio tower that's blinking in the background is on the Presumpscot River, and the ship channel curves off a little bit to the left. It goes around the corner and up to Portland.
So you're south of Portland?
No, I'm northeast.
Okay, I don't get it. If I'm looking at it and the shore is to my left, or is your camera reversed?
The view is no, the camera's not reversed. The view, this is looking towards the north.
Is that a lighthouse way in the back there?
No, the way in the back is a radio tower.
Oh.
W something.
So if Portland is to the west of this location, so to the left, and I'm to the right of this location, which is to the east.
Okay, well, I was thinking that the camera was reversed, so I'm less confused now.
Yeah, you're looking, it's relatively, actually, if you were to position yourself.
I grew up next to Lake Michigan.
Well, you can see all the way on the left of the screen. That's the sun going down. The bright sky over there, that's the sun going down.
As I was saying, I grew up next to Lake Michigan in my adult life growing up. And, I've seen just countless sunrises on Lake Michigan. It's so beautiful. so peaceful. But I've never seen the sunset on Lake Michigan. And then there's all those people over in Michigan who's never seen a sunrise. It's like we should make tours and trade off here and there.
Seeing the sunrise on the top of Cadillac Mountain, the place the sun first shines on the lower 48. Down East Maine.
So if you were to go to the top of that mountain and drop your pants, that your ass would shine before anything else in the country, huh?
That is correct.
Wow. That's really profound.
Good. Yeah. Never thought of it quite that way, but thanks for that.
You're welcome. Captain Desk, what happens if you don't stop in time? Does it change from, let's see, it can change from, does it turn into cheese?
It turns into a tiger. Silly.
Well, hey, I'm from Wisconsin, where we get 1,000 pounds of butter and we carve it into things.
That's true.
It's what we do.
You cheeseheads.
Let's see here. The butter will separate out of the mixture and it will become grainy and soupy if you overmix it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay. Never done it before, but
a liquid to a solid, semi-solid to liquid again. Interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
What if you add cornstarch? Would it become semi-non-Newtonian?
I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have butter that you could walk across, but just don't stop. Or you're going to be like a lobster.
Yeah, so it goes from like sort of the whipped cream stage if you add sugar, then it turns into the butter stage, and I guess it turns into more of a liquid stage again. It separates.
That's where beer comes from. Okay, that's clarified it well for me.
Yeah, beer is just sort of soaked barley that's set around too long.
Barley is one of my most favorite things to put in soup. I just love barley.
Yep.
So kangaroo does
That's
go
why
well.
My theory is that beer came before bread.
Yes, the Packers do suck this year. Absolutely. I'm going to try to deny that at all. Reminds me back in the dry spell of the 70s and 80s and most of the 90s. It's pretty pathetic, and it's gone back to that.
In fact, you're correct. Some early humans grew and stored grain in for beer even before they cultivated it for bread.
Yep. It's also my theory that smoking weed came before rope.
Probably.
You clean the hemp and what's all this fiber, and you get you consume the hemp and you get stoned and you start twiddling the fibers together. Oh, look, this is kind of cute.
Rope is one of those things that I've wondered what it was like to invent the first rope. The first triple strand thing that's tied together that'll stay together and stuff like that. And how do you figure out those little wheels with the holes in them and all that kind of stuff?
What's cool about the old rope walks was that they were generally built on a hill. So that you would, as you were twisting the rope, and in order to get a particular length of rope, you needed to have a very long room. They called them rope walks, and they were built at a slant, so that as you were pulling the fibers together, you were pulling them with your weight against the rope.
Let's see here. Looks like the Egyptians may have been the first to invent rope, dating back to 4,000 to 3,500
Stoners.
BC, and they used water reed fibers.
That's disappointing. Not cannabis. Shit. There goes that theory.
Did marijuana even grow in Egypt anywhere at that time?
Don't know.
Oh man, they have this cool Indian stuff.
Hey man, like we could build these things like really tall, and they have like 4 sides. It would be cool.
That actually is a good question. Where did the cannabis originate from?
Who needs ancient history with Pat Lowinger when we're here?
Let's see here. It came from, it's native to Central to South Asia. So that doesn't really tell me too much, but
I think the only continent it doesn't grow on is Antarctica.
no,
And
apparently
that'll change in another 50 years.
that's apparently where it originated from, though. That's what I was trying to find.
Wait, you're saying that pot originated in Antarctica?
No, in Central to South Asia.
Oh, okay. I should grow some since I'm allowed to do that legally.
I wish I could grow some.
It's hard to find seeds anymore. People, taking this hybridization crap so far and they collect their own seeds and don't, so you can't grow their stuff. And I can't. I never get pot with any seeds in it now.
Most of the strains out there are clones. They're just clone.
Oh, okay. That would make
stuff.
Explain why. And I know there's places you can order the seeds, but then I'm afraid of is putting that stuff through the mail the crime that they can get you for, even if you're in a state where it's legal.
Probably, seeing as you still have the federal issues to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Though you have heard that Biden is trying to actually do something about that.
No, you're absolutely correct. We're trying to change the schedule for marijuana and some other stuff too.
So kudos on him for that. Gotta give credit where credit's due.
That would have entirely wiped out my first 2 years of HRT if I hadn't have been committed to being an illegal bitch. I got my drugs from New Zealand.
Oh. You mean your HRT?
Mm-hmm. Because I was too chicken shit to go through the whole process. It's like, well, you got to do this and do that. And it's like, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell anybody. I don't want to do this. I just want to see. I just want to figure it out. And I don't know. And then I finally figured out it was stupid.
Okay, I'll tell you a really stupid trans story. When I was a kid, I think I was 6th or 7th grade. I don't remember for sure. Our lovely Irish setter family dog was attacked and sexually assaulted by some other dog. And my parents did not want puppies, especially not purebreds. And so they went to the vet, and the vet gave drugs to, have the dog take this, and the pregnancy will end and everything will be just fine. And when I looked into the drugs, it was estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, well, what would happen if I took one? Being a stupid kid, thinking that if I took one, it would make a big difference or something. And so I stole one of my dog's estrogen tablets. But then I felt so guilty I didn't do it again. Oh, what if she gets pregnant? Oh, it's my fault.
Oh, I raided Mom's Premarin.
Mm. Yeah, I used to get that by the bottles. You're gonna have 100 tabs. Don't take them all at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is, by the way, the first time I've told anybody about that dog estrogen.
He's
But
Sorry.
actually, it does explain why I get those urgings when I walk past a fire hydrant and stuff.
Mm,
I
yeah.
was gonna say
Full circle there.
Yeah.
God, I love saying stupid things.
Saying stupid things on the internet is always a good thing. Why not? What could possibly go wrong?
Steph, I would so love to have you come on some of the panels that happen on TikTok, where these
Got a TikTok account.
these brilliant people start to insist on how the fact that trans is a mental illness and XXXY, just all these.
Hey, listen,
idiots.
it's okay. I've talked to Pine Creek. I
and then you say, well, okay, XXXY. I said, but did you know that there's a minimum of 16 known variations in the XXXY paradigm? Could you explain that to me? Then they change the subject.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can. The worst part is when you get people that don't know what they're talking about, talking like they think they know what they're talking about on these issues, and it's like, oh my god.
I actually had one guy who verbalized that. Well, I've been studying this for 3 years. You can't tell me what's what. And I said, well, I think I've been involved with it a little longer than you, and I think that you're reading some bad. Oh yeah, well, how long have you been in it? I said, well, I said 45 years. And he said, you're lying. Okay, that's your defense. I'm lying. Thank you. Oh man. God, such idiots.
Seriously, the torture never stops.
Who's this Pine Creek?
Oh, you don't know that guy? I don't want to get into it. The guy's he's got like his channel's like 17,700, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to be Mr. Rational Atheist guy using the Socratic method. But he's essentially a hard right winger who hates everything trans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, politically he's right wing, but he's an atheist.
And he's a nice guy. He's a wicked nice guy. Very nice fellow.
So likely he's one of those guys who goes onto trans Pornhub and doesn't have enough money to buy a session, or
I don't think so. His Mennonite background wouldn't allow him to do that.
I remember a little video Mr. Deity did on him. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, well, and he and Mr. Deity have been in a bit of a war of late, which is funny.
Mr. Deity, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't know him either?
Nope, no false pride there though.
He's he's sort of an atheist comedian. He used to do a skit. It's on YouTube called Mr. Deity. And he had a whole host of other people. He's basically playing God, and it's quite entertaining.
I assumed he was one of the committed believers.
No, Mr. Deity, he had a whole thing that he was really, really active on YouTube maybe 8 years ago.
He's getting back. He's getting back into it, but he's not doing his Mr. Deity shtick anymore. Really, he's kind of doing different kind of comedy.
And as Jester says, it's great skits. He really he put a lot of good value into his stuff.
And unfortunately, it's only him now, so he can't really do the skits anymore.
Well, I will have to.
Why? Became an atheist, that's why.
I will have to check that out. You did an interview with Pine Creek a few days ago. How did that go, Carol? Did he convince you that you're wrong?
I think Carol means Mr. Deity did.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm very good at misreading things.
Well, we are at the 2-hour mark. Should we start wrapping up here?
Oh, perfect.
I don't know. I think we should wait till sun goes down in Portland.
Oh yeah, well, it's almost down.
Won't take long now.
No, it's going down.
Going down
That
for
evening
Portland.
sun go down.
Is it getting dark where you are, Mage?
Yeah, it's gonna start getting dark pretty soon here.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's still bright and sunny here. Oh no, those are clouds. Oh wow, Minnesota.
I already took care of the chickens, so all I have to do is walk Molly.
I just flipped what you said in a dyslexic sort of way, and I heard you say, "I took care of Molly, and I'm going to go walk the chickens." I'm sorry.
What? Wait a minute. Oh, that'd be fun to watch, you know.
Well, I've seen people that
possible.
have harnesses for their chickens and take them for walks.
Yeah, it's possible to walk the chickens.
Chickens can be very, very pretty.
They can be quite friendly too.
Would you ever get one of those all black, inside and out type chickens?
Those would be interesting.
Have you ever seen pictures?
Yes.
Okay.
Chickens are good, very good for keeping the bugs down. They're super good at that.
Yeah, I like to let them loose when I'm out there supervised and let them run around and eat the bugs or whatnot.
Well, bring a couple in the house. Take care of that problem too.
Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work in the house, and they poop all over the place.
I was going to say, except for the chicken shit, you're fine.
But you can put them in a diaper. They do make chicken diapers.
No,
you're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
in fact, I saw somebody taking those face masks and turning them into a chicken diaper.
Yeah, my grandfather put goggles on the chickens so that they couldn't peck each other's eyes out, as they sometimes tend to do. Which, look, I never saw it, but there are family tales of that happening, and I find it hard to imagine chickens walking around in goggles. Equally hard to imagine them walking around in diapers.
My mom had this childhood joke or tale, I should say, that she tells from when her family was still living on a farm. They had chickens, of course, and she was feeding the chickens, which you can do with table scraps and stuff like that. This is, during the Depression and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the rooster, even though she'd been coming there for a long time, decided to attack her. But it didn't, try and leap up and peck your eyes like they like to do. It ran over and it bit a wart off of her toe.
Wow.
And it never grew back.
I guess there's a cure.
Okay, Mom, I don't know if you're telling the truth or not. You might be bullshitting. You're very good at it. But that was her tale. So every time I ever seen chickens, I always be sure to wear shoes.
Oh yeah, I always wear my shoes when I'm out taking care of the chickens.
They're dangerous. I wonder how chickens in the city are working out for people.
Probably pretty well. I'm in the in a suburb area. I just have them in my backyard.
Okay, I was thinking more like apartment dwellers. Technically, they're allowed to have them too. And they put some kind of pen device up on their balcony or up on the roof of the building or something like that.
Seems like
Yeah,
in the
that could work.
Caribbean, in urban settings, like everybody's got chickens.
Hmm.
When I lived in Boston, there were a bunch of people that had chickens around.
Chickens don't really take up all that much room in the run, as long as you can let them out every so often. But if you wanted to see what a chicken diaper looks like,
Oh, my fucking word. Jesus.
What the fuck? What's on the front of them?
that's the harness that's holding the whole thing together.
Ah,
Oh
I
my
see.
God.
Okay.
There's your chicken diaper.
So when you're done with it, you turn it into a feed bag for a horse, or
Yeah, dump it into a compost.
That's pretty good, Mage. You've never seen the like.
But yeah, I've seen people take face masks and turn them into chicken diapers like that.
I never thought that I would get towards the end of my life and but still have enough time to see a chicken butt.
What's that on your chicken's ass? Well, that's a diaper.
Well, I can see why people would want them if you're indoors.
I suppose you could use that if you're harvesting chickens. I suppose you could then use that for the bag to put the giblets in.
Yeah, I got my 59-cent a pound turkey yesterday, just because.
Boy, I wish I had a turkey.
Like 12 pounds of bird for $6, so you can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, that's really great. Is it still frozen, or are you thawing it out?
Oh, it's defrosting in the fridge right now. It takes about a week to thaw the thing out. That'll be perfect.
In winter, when I come inside, it takes about that long for me to defrost inside. Are you leaving, Carol?
Later.
Well, Carol heard Mage saying, "Let's wrap it up." So whatever.
And you wanted to wait until the sun went down there, right?
Yeah, that's pretty dark.
It's pretty much down.
All right. Well, I guess we should wrap this up then. All right. Stephanie, what do you got? What do you want to show?
What do I got? I don't know. Not much. I'm probably gonna do something later on today, but I'm not sure. I'm working on something. But keep an eye out on the old Steffi Cath channel. Something might turn up. Y'all do. Love you all.
Love you too, Steffi.
All right.
If you're lucky enough to find me on, well, maybe it's not luck. If you so happen to find me on TikTok, have a good time coming in the chat, and you can get up on the panel if you want and watch us talk with these absolutely blithering idiots.
It's only fun if I get to
blithering.
It's only fun to me if I get to talk to the blithering idiots.
Well, you can come up on the panel. It's an open mic. You just have to wait in line until they pick you.
I think I'll shill Purple's GoFundMe one more time here. So you can go check that out. She still needs money on that. It's it's up to $917. Yeah, $917 out of 5,000 she needs. So share that around or donate if you get the money. So
God, I wish I could win the lotto.
Yeah, same here.
Same everywhere.
And I guess that's it. So see you guys around.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Don't get caught.